to do here with this short video is put together a demonstration to put all of this disinformation that's being disseminated about PSECs running on 60 Hertz, ambient hum or noise spikes on the ground connection. What I want to do here is show that you can't even force a SEC exciter to run on 60 Hertz. What I've done here is I have my aluminum block coming off of a signal generator, and I have an oscilloscope hooked across the ground and the hot lead, and we're going to take a look at it, and I'll show you this closer in a minute. And going into the PSEC, I have a standard AV plug. I have the 1000 mic capacitor on there. And my L3, I have another AV plug here feeding this 48 LED board. This clip lead again is the offset. It comes down here and just clips to the cup. I've also mounted this up here on 4 cups so you can see for sure there's nothing underneath it when we finally get to the end, and I show you how this really does work, or should work, when you replicate it. So what I want to do is, right now we have 60 Hertz coming into this guy, and the 60 Hertz measures 14.8 volts peak to peak. So that right here, if you see we're on channel 1, this is what I'm inputting to this guy. Right there at this bottom aluminum block, here's our top aluminum block, 14.8, I'm sorry, I'll back off here again, 14.8 peak to peak, okay? Now if you can't excite this thing with 14 volts, I don't know what you're going to excite it with. Let me back off, move in here. You can see there's absolutely no indication of anything going on with this fella with 60 Hertz. In fact, I'll even go and, hold on a second, I got my finger stuck in the camera. I'll even go you one better. I'll take this thing up to 120 Hertz, like about right there, and we can go with the scope and bring our level back down so that we now have 14.8 at 120 Hertz, and lo and behold, nothing's happening. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, after showing you that it's impossible with this configuration here, scope directly across the input so we're reading the correct voltage. Now if you're ever going to get 14.8 volts ambient or 14.8 volt spikes on your ground connection in your lab, you better start making some corrections, because you really have a problem. So anyway, we know it won't do it on, let's round it off to 15 AC. Let's go ahead and put a frequency in here that it would really like. What I've done now is I've switched to my more reliable generator so that I can get the precise frequency I need. The Verner on the other generator will not allow it, and I'm not putting in 15 volts at all. I'm putting in I'm outputting across the 50 ohm load 1 volt EMF, and I have hid the frequency. I'm not going to show that. And here we are. I've taken the scope off of it. We're single leaded out of the generator at that 1 volt level. I still have the little soldering sponge in between. No, it's not wet. The block on the top going into the AV plug, coming out through the L3 into our 48 LED board. I really can't say that there should be any other proof to this. You get the right frequency, you go down to 1/10 of the voltage, and here's what you end up with. So I think rather than folks out there speaking for their vanity or trying to make an impression on their buddies, what they should do is really do a replication